Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we dive into hot topic, how to land your dream job as a Flutter developer. Whether you are just starting out or looking to level up, I got you covered with tips and strategies that really work. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is understanding Flutter. Here is our Flutter documentation. First of all, let's quick touch about Flutter. Flutter is an open source UI toolkit built by Google for building native compiled application for mobile, web, and desktop for a single code base. But if to get a job, we are going to focusing on just one thing, and Flutter is famous by mobile development. Yeah, I'm still building just mobile development. Sometimes I try to build web, but web is coming recently in Flutter framework. That's why I didn't like to build web application using Flutter. If to build a web application, of course you are going to use React. Knowing this is a key because it positions you tackle various project. What you are going to do, you are going to familiar yourself with its architecture, key widgets, and core principles. Let me give you an introduction about Flutter and how you are going to study. The first thing you need to study is widgets, building columns, rows, look like that. Then we are going to move to layout. Inside layout, we are going to use lists, grids, single child scroll view. That's our layout, and your application should be adaptive and responsive. To do that, what we are to use using safe area, media query, look like that. For designing any theme, of course, you are going to design your texts or your images. Sometimes the whole platform when we are using theme. If you are want to change your website or your mobile app, dark theme or light theme, that's how you are going to do. The next thing you need to understand is how to interact, collecting information from the user by using input box or form, or showing snack bars, notifications, look like that. That is interacting with the people. You need to understand it, how we are going to interact. The next thing you need to understand is media and assets, how we are going to import image, music, videos, look like that. The next thing you need to understand is navigation and routing. Navigation means how we are going to move to one page to another page. And if you are using this thing, if you are using authentication, we are going to use routing. You need to understand what is the difference between routing and navigation and when you are going to use them, because both of them are useful. And our animation, like this thing is going to be advanced. If you like to create an animation and transition, that's great. After beyond UI, you need to learn how to fetch data from backend, such as if you are accessing using serverless backend such as Firebase, or sometimes you are going to use normal backend, someone building by PHP or JavaScript, they are going to use REST API. You should learn how to fetch data from those things. Then platform integration, how to install package, testing and debugging. Of course, you are going to learn how to test unit test and widget test, integration test. You need to learn those things to get a job. Then the last one is going to be performance optimization and how to deploy it. At least if you like to get a job, at least you need to upload one application or deploy one application, and at least you need to build three projects and upload one project is going to be great for that. Okay, the next thing after understanding how Flutter works, how this thing is going to be is like the next thing you need to do is learn about solid principle. Solid principle is going to be great. It's kind of just a theory, but you are going to practice it in clean architecture. Single responsibility principles. If you are going to create one class for one purpose. Open close principality. This should be like when you try to open extension, but we are going to close for modification. Leaves core substitution principle, interact segregation principle. This means like you need to create the first thing you need to create is like UI. Then you are going to create your logic. By doing this, like you are going to learn single responsibility principles. Like I didn't follow the whole rules they are stated in here, but like kind of creating and dependency inversion principle. This means like higher module is not going to be depending on lower module. This means like if you try to create an abstraction, that abstraction should be depending on like the detail. And this is just a theory. After that, like you are going to practice clean architecture in Flutter. Already you are familiar with like how to fetch a data, how to create a widget, how to navigate it. After that, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn this architecture. This architecture is like 3 layers. The first thing is domain, next is presentation and data layer. Domain layer is going to help us like building a bridge between like our presentation layer and data layer. Let's try to connect those two things. For data, it's kind of like fetching data from our backend. For our presentation layer, we are just building headers and our UIs in here. And like our entity is like independent, our use case is dependent on entity, and our repository and presentation is going to depending on use case. Our use case is going to dependent on our entity. We are going to learn this hierarchical level. Let me show you in here. Look like it. Our entity is not independent. It's going to be independentable. Our use case is depending on this. Like when you try to build your UI, UI is going to call your state. Your state is going to call your use case. Use case is going to check your entity. This entity and use case is connected. It means like our repository can call our use case, and our repository is going to try to connect our use case and our data source. This data source is fetching data and it's going to move to our UI. That's how it's work clean architecture. If you are understanding this, like you are going to build like small project. Now you know Flutter. Let's take skills. You want to get comfortable with Dart, Flutter programming language, starting by working through official documentation. Don't skip hand-on coding. Build simple apps to solidify your understanding. Try to create a few projects like weather app. Of course, you are going to follow this clean architecture where you are try to build like weather apps or to-do lists. You are not just you are not going to implement it by yourself. You are going to follow those rules. And if you are great, like you can create a small e-commerce app like that will going to be boost your skills. The next thing to do is like create like kind of professional portfolio. Next, you need a strong portfolio. Showcase your Flutter project on platform like GitHub. Make sure including README file. Like most people forgetting to write description in README. That README file explain your project in the future and how it's run. Have a personal website is also a huge plus. It's your digital business card. So include your project, blogs, even a bit about yourself. The fourth part is going to be networking. Of course, most people tell you about like you should network it because like if you are a software engineer or programmer, you are going to be code monkey if you like to code. That's not going to help you to get a job. So that like you need to network. Yeah. Networking is crucial. Join Flutter and Dart community on platforms like LinkedIn, Discord, or Reddit. Participate in discussions, share your projects, connecting with other developers. Consider attending Flutter meetups and conferences that will lead you valuable connection and job opportunities. Like most of people get their jobs by networking, not by just upgrading their skill. Of course, your skill is important, but networking is also important. The fifth part is going to be, of course, job searching strategy. You need to create a strategy to get a job. When it comes to job hunting, tailor your resume for your application. Resume is like the most important thing. When your hire manager watch your CV or resume, just like 3 or 5 seconds, not going to be long, so it's going to be interested in just one page. Highlight relevant Flutter skills, projects, and use keywords for job description to get noticed. Plus, you can create like 3 or 4 CVs for different companies depending on what they want. Sometimes, if you are applying for startup company, like most of startup companies want full stack software engineer look like this. If you try to apply intermediate or big tech companies, they need to be specified. They want just front end engineer. They need like expertise because they have like a lot of resources or human resources. Check out job boards like Indeed, LinkedIn, and specialized sites like Stack Overflow jobs. Also, don't hesitate to reach out directly to the companies you are interested in. The last part or the sixth part is going to be prepare for your interview. At this time, you are comfortable with like how to create an application, whatever. The application is going to be web app or mobile app or desktop app. That's your preference. But preparing interview is like different than building a skill. Once you land interview, prepare to brush up common Flutter interview questions and be ready to discuss your project in details. Of course, this thing is like you are preparing it like if you are building a project. But if you try to apply for big tech companies such as like tech companies, they are not going to ask you about just your text like Flutter or React. They are going to ask you specific like problem skill or data structure and algorithm. You need to master it. You are going to master those skills by using LeetCode or HackerRank platform. Remember, showcase your problem solving skill is just as important as technical knowledge. Your technical knowledge is building like a project, but like you need to have like problem solving skill. To do that, like you just watch this one, master data structure in the algorithm. For foundation, you need to understand what is data structure, what is algorithm. Data structure means like how they are storing their data, like how to store like data in array or linked list or structure, other data structures. Algorithm is like that's the process or the instruction how to manipulate those data inside our data structure. Our data structure is going to be array, linked list, tags, queues. Of course, stacks and queue are like they are opposite of self. Trees is a little bit like heavier algorithms, not that much heavier. There's like a node and there is two values pointed to left and right, and they continue. And if I try to iterate this thing, we are going to use BFS or DFS. BFS and DFS is going to be algorithm. Our tree or graph is going to be our data structure. That's why they call it data structure and algorithm. We are going to manipulate our data by algorithm. That's the whole idea of data structure. Graph is kind of advanced problem, hash table, kind of dictionary. If this pick like smallest elements or the biggest elements in any kind of place. For algorithm, there is a search algorithm, linear algorithm. We are going to use linear algorithm in array. It's going to take like or n time, because like time and space complexity is like crucial thing in the structure in the algorithm. You should understand it. Plus big annotations for binary search. Binary search is going to be like a great or efficient algorithm to search from sorted list. We are going to pick a middle point, and that middle point is like equal to our target. That's great. If that is less than, we are going to left. If greater than, we are going to right. That we are going to find a target value in binary search, and its time complexity is going to be O log n. Here it's come like DFS and BFS. This is like the core point to traverse the graph. If you don't understand like DFS and DFS, you can't understand, like you can't traverse like a graph. How you are going to understand it? Then there is sorting algorithm, double sort, selection sort, merge sort, a lot of sorts. There is an advanced algorithm, divide and conquer, sort, and merge sort is like one of the examples. Here is the famous problem. Dynamic programming. You need to learn how to memorize and catch when you try. Most of the time, when you try to like backtracking, look like that. If you are understanding all these algorithms, I know it's heavy, it's not easy, but you are going to get a job. Not like a locally, you are going to get like a big tech companies. All right, this is for today. With the right skill, a strong portfolio, and a bit networking, you will on your way or landing a Flutter job. If you found this video helpful, give it thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave any question on your comments below. Good luck out there. See you the next time.